let the people walk through, just keep talking.
All right. So what we've got here is the Wisper foiling catamaran. This has been designed in the UK. It's built in the UK by White Formula out of Brightlingsea in Essex. This is it's been designed for your everyday sailor to be able to go out and foil. There's a couple of unique things about this, but I'll start with a big statement, which is if you can sail a cat, you're going to be able to go out and foil your first time on this. What you've got, you can see you've got 4 foils there. You've got the 2 main and then you've rudders, which have got wings on as well. We've got, when you take this out sailing, you actually sail with all 4 down. We're not using J foils, we've got T foils on this. They've also got wands on, so they're helping you adjust, make the adjustments to the foil position, get you up and keep you up for much longer. So when you sail this, you're going out, you're not having to worry about balancing your boat on top of these foils like you are on the J. You're actually getting out, you're staying out for longer, you're having much longer experience out there on the water. All right, when to go. So what we've got here is the main foil of the Wisper. You can see it's a T-shaped foil. It's got little winglets on the end, reduce the ebb of the water off the end. The main thing here, there's 2 main components of this foil. We've got a wand here, which actually controls this flap, and I'll come back to that in a moment. The other thing you can do is you control the rake, or the pitch of this. I can't move this one at the moment, but what you're doing is, when you go out first, what you set is the ride height for the boat. So we've got a little setting up here. You put it on about 3, so we're about 2 at the moment. We'll pull it back to 3, and you can see the position of the foil just moving there. Setting around 3 is going to give you a nice foot and a half sitting out of the water when you're foiling. The other thing that is going to help you foiling on this boat is this wand. Now, what's going to happen is when you're fully in the water, when you're not foiling, the wand's going to sit up along here. As you come out of the water, the wand is going to adjust. You can see it adjusting here. I can't pull it all the way up because the foil's not all the way down, but it's actually adjusting the flap. So it's just like an airplane wing, yeah? When it's up like that, it's trying to create lift. And you can see as I pull it down, imagine that adjusting as you're coming out of the water, it's actually flattening out. It's not going to flatten out because you've still got to get the lift to maintain your position. But what that's doing, this is giving you control over how much of the foil, how much of your boat is being lifted out of the water. So actually, once you've set your ride height, the base level of your foil position, that wand is getting you up and it's keeping you up, all right? 2 very critical components of this. The other is, you're not lifting these foils out. You're going to sail this horizontal, all right? You're going to try and keep, you and your crew, if you're at the helm, you're going to try and keep the boat horizontal. You want to keep all 4 foils in the water at the same time because the foil on the other side is doing exactly the same as the foil on this side. And then it's really down to actually crewing it, pulling in your main sheet, helming it, and sailing the boat. A couple of other features of this boat: it's fully carbon fibre. The whole thing, the hull and everything, minus the foils, is 78 kilograms with the foils off. So we're talking extremely light. Other things we've got here is the beam. You'll see we haven't got a piece of steel strapped on here, no bolts, it's all one, right? The reason this is done is to reduce the flex. So you get on this machine and what happens on your port side hull is happening on your starboard side hull. There's no flex in this thing. It's absolutely rigid. The 4 foils in the water when you're going along, giving you a load of stability. So when you're thinking about J foiling on the things that you see out there, you're going to spend a lot of time in the water. You're going to spend not much time up foiling. You're going to be having celebration if you get 30 seconds up foiling, right? Now I'll ask you the question, do you want to go a little bit slower on a T foil but be up for 5 minutes? Or do you want to, go for 5, trying to get up on that J foil for that 10 seconds? So you do the maths, you figure out who'll be ahead, and you're going to have a lot more fun on this boat. The thing when you sail this is, when you're not foiling, you want to be up foiling because that's the new norm. That's what you're going to get used to.
The mechanism in the back of that foil over there.
Yeah.
That's just a...
Right. So this is the mechanism in the back of the foil that you can see over there. Is the... Are you good? Yeah. Yeah. So the mechanism in the back of that foil you can see over there. There's a little knob on the top of it. and that actually is adjusting the relationship between the flap on the bottom of the foil and the wand. So you can do a minor adjustment when you're out there. Once you've figured out how high you want to be, you can make those adjustments to that wand flap relationship just to get it perfect. Now this isn't something you sort of fiddle around with all the time or need to adjust every time you tack or jibe. This is go out, get it set up. You're probably not going to play with that much at all. The reason you're going to be playing with ride height is some of your conditions. The reason you're going to be playing with your wand is just fine tuning, getting up and staying up. Once you've set that, you're good. The only other reason you might like to play with ride height is the experience of your crew. The more rudder, the more foil you've got in the water, the more controllable your boat's going to be. If you've got more height, it's a bit more fun, a bit more speed, but equally you're going to have less control. So you've got to get that right balance for the experience of your crew.
And you're saying if you got a 7 degree, and this is what controls your 7 degree?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then your foil, your apron on the back of your foil is just simply correcting that.
Correct.
Plus or minus.
Yeah. It's basically going right. Get you out of the water because I'm up here. I'm not foiling, so I'm going to adjust my flap, get you up. Once I am up, just like an airplane, I don't want to keep climbing in altitude. I need to level out because if we didn't have that, you're going to keep climbing and you're going to come out of the water, And it's and the way you adjust that on a J foil where you don't have this is you move your position on the boat. When you are sailing this, one of the things you do is you'll feel the boat wanting to come out of the water. It's just going to be wanting to pop. To make it pop, what you do is take one step back because your rear foils are fixed. The rake is fixed on them. So by shifting your weight back here, shifting a bit of the weight, releasing a bit of the weight up there, but also you're changing that rake of all your foils at once, including the ones in the back, and the hull will pop. Once your hull pops, take another step forward, off you go.
And the rig basically just a standard cat rig.
It's pretty standard cat rig. Everyone, cat
controlling your foils.
Yeah, that's it. If you're a cat sailor, you'll be pretty familiar with this. It's got a self-tacking jib there, sails from Harken. Your kite, pull into that sock. You don't want a furler at the front. You don't want weight at the front, basically. And it's super easy to pull back in, release your tack, pull that kite back
You were
in.
mentioning a little bump you had recently.
Yes. Sandbank. So a lot of people asking how strong the foils. So we went into a sandbank with this foil, and that's the result of it. I mean, we've done a lot of sailing since. Hasn't been buffed, hasn't been polished, no damage at all. We've got the video of the sandbank incident, which is the whole cat came to an abrupt stop, and we did go for a fly on the trapeze, but the boat itself, no damage at all. No damage at all.
There's no structural damage to it.
No, nothing. I mean, this is at the critical points, there's a lot of carbon. There's a lot of fibre in here. You can just tell round this beam.
Boat builders in England.
Yeah.
Give us a history of that.
So boat builders in England been around for about 60 years. A company called the White Formula. 3 generations of sailors and builders, and that's just continued down now to the four sons, and you've got Olympic sailors for Britain in every one of those generations.
The sail areas are a head sail of about?
Head sail of about 3, then you got about 13.5 for your main, and then about 16 for your kite. But it's got plenty of power just under your main and your head.
Is it overpowered, do you think, or is it comfortable?
No, it's comfortable. Yeah, it's comfortable. You got to, just like any boat like this, you got to work that main sheet.
And to de-rig it, if you have it on a trailer and you're moving it around on a trailer?
Well, it's pretty simple. So it's about 30 minutes to de-rig it. I mean, all you're doing de-rigging is taking the tension out of the bottom of the rig here. So there's some cables underneath. Just take that tension out. There's your pin and your forestay up there. take that out, use your trapeze to drop the mast, turn it 90 degrees so it doesn't pop, undo your stanchions, and away you go pretty much. You keep the rest of the rig on, just undo your boom.
Sure. And the foils are just dropped.
So yeah, to get your foils out, if you're not going to pop it on the trailer, the problem is it's too wide to trail.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because legal limit's 2.5, I think. Yeah, and it's 2. The boat itself is 2.3. So this is, add those two on.
Sure.
If you're going to trail it, all you're doing is putting some supports under the back there, lifting the hull. Just walk it up. They slide out from underneath. Same with the back ones, or you can take the entire transom off the back and the foils come away.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If the ideal situation is where you've got this stored and you can just pop it on your beach trolley, because all up, as I said, 78 kilos without the foils in. You pop the beach trolley in at the pivot point, one person push that up the beach. The foils all lift up, so they're out of the way and you can just push it around like that.
I don't know if you realise,